One of the hardest yet most important things for a health education specialist to do is to choose their philosophy. It is the basis in which their reality will be set in for their careers and even their lives. As a soon to be health education specialist, my philosophy is wellness. The question of what is philosophy feels like I am asking what is the philosophy of philosophy. To understand what philosophy is to understand the reason individuals or groups operate the way they do, or for the foundation of their existence or purpose. The Greek prefix for philosophy is philia, which means love, and the suffix is sophia, which means wisdom. So philosophy literally means the love of wisdom. Philosophy in the health education sense is a statement that summarizes the attitudes, principles, beliefs, values, and concepts held by the individual or group. One's philosophy is truly what makes each individual unique. It is the reason for why individuals make certain choices, companies hire certain people with specific qualities or intangibles, etc. Our philosophy drives us to live the lives that we have chosen to live. Now, it is important to emphasize that philosophy is the love of wisdom. So the individual that has or lives by a philosophy is inquisitive about facts and factors that explain an issue or affects how they would approach a situation. Meaning they're always asking questions and trying to learn more about how to better themselves and their lives. When there is no display of inquisitiveness, opinion will start becoming confused with fact, making this philosophy stagnant. But truly, at this point, it would not be a philosophy anymore, since a philosophy is rarely stagnant. Philosophies must be continuous. Now, displaying a philosophy of wellness means that you are focused on the positive quality. Now, this is done by integrating all 8 dimensions of wellness. Those 8 dimensions are emotional, occupational, intellectual, environmental, financial, social, spiritual, and physical. One of the reasons I love this philosophy is that all people can achieve some measure of wellness, no matter the limitations that they have on their life. This wellness, uh, this philosophy of wellness enforces that optimal health is important for everyone and illuminates that the fact that not everyone is born with the same or equal opportunities as others. Now, for example, there are many people in this country who are born either into poverty or low middle class, or are born into developing countries, born with disabilities of blindness or being deaf, uh, and essentially they aren't given a great hand to start their life, making it extremely hard to fulfill certain dimensions of wellness. Now, if you were born into poverty or low middle class, you would have a hard time fulfilling the financial dimension. You're already starting off on a bad foot, not having as much money, but even so, you can still change your life by going to school. Public school is free. But still, to that point, it would be even harder, though, to afford college by being born into poverty and not being able to afford college. Oh, sorry, not being able to afford. I apologize. Just want to continue speaking on that slide, even though I'm on the next slide. But not being able to afford college would make it hard to get the job that you would want and fulfill your occupational dimension. Okay, so I would like to speak on all 8 dimensions of the wellness philosophy. The first is the emotional dimension. So, emotional wellness is about understanding your feelings and coping with stress effectively. This means that you must be aware of all of your emotions, both positive and negative, understand how to navigate them, and learn from the experiences. Once you accept how you feel, you'll be able to understand why you are feeling that way and then respond appropriately. To achieve emotional wellness, you must remain optimistic and try to smile more often. This will help give you a positive outlook on life, making it easier to cope with the stress and deal with your emotions. Also, employing gratitude will help strengthen your current relationships with friends and family. And accepting your mistakes and learning from them will help as well. It's actually very important because we all make mistakes. So it's important to remember that mistakes are really just learning experiences. The next dimension is occupation. Our attitude and how we approach work is very important to occupational development. This depicts that exploring career options is important and not simply working somewhere for the sake of having a job. Meaning, having a job is not the end all be all for the occupational dimension. You need to be able to receive some enrichment and satisfaction from this occupation. Now, this dimension is important because most individuals work at least 5 out of the 7 days in the week, meaning most of our time is spent at work. So it's important to not bring home the stresses that can uh, be developed while at work. Now, if you can identify your workplace stress and practice conflict management, you will be able to receive an optimal level in this dimension. Now, to fulfill this dimension, reflecting on your occupational needs is important. You must ask yourself, which occupational tasks do you enjoy and which ones you hate or find burdensome? And this is especially important for students who haven't truly started their careers yet. It's important to take your time and discern what you would enjoy doing or what you would have a passion for. Because, like the old adage, it doesn't really feel like work if you enjoy doing it. The next dimension is financial. Financial wellness is learning how to manage financial expenses. It is well known that money is an important tool in our society, which is why it can be a great source of stress, anxiety, fear, etc. Now, to help fulfill this dimension, you must keep up with your financial responsibilities and develop smart habits to help you manage your finances. Being proactive will help ensure that you stay organized and make it possible to take advantage of any programs that are available to you. So the financial dimension is not always the easiest one to fulfill because, again, people can be born into poverty and such. But the important takeaways are to be proactive. Don't ignore your financial responsibilities because that will only make them worse. The next dimension is intellectual. Now, intellectual wellness is engaging in creative and mentally stimulating activities. And by doing so, you will expand your knowledge through various ways. Now, the ways to expand your knowledge would be through academics, culture and community involvement, and personal hobbies. Now, this dimension encourages learning and stimulates your curiosity, which will help you try new things and better understand yourself and the world around you. So, the way to achieve this optimal level in this dimension is to be open minded, listen rather than speaking first, and expressing your creative side. So, be slow to talk and quick to listen. Don't be afraid to try new things that will help you be creative. And you can really find your creativity in things like the arts. And the next dimension is environment. So the environmental wellness is basically living a lifestyle that is respectful to your surroundings and your environment. To fulfill this dimension, you must live in harmony with the earth, and you do that by protecting. So if you respect the earth and the environment, you will realize how your daily habits affect it. So ways that we can help fulfill this dimension is by conserving energy, recycling, and volunteering at various environmental organizations. We truly must become aware of Earth's resources so that we can protect it and preserve the environment, hence fulfilling the environmental dimension. The next dimension is physical. The physical dimension promotes proper care of our bodies for optimal health and functioning, which means you must balance your physical activity, your nutrition, and mental well-being to help keep your body in great condition. Again, just to reiterate, you should to take care of your bodies, you must try to engage in at least 30 minutes a day of physical activity. Try and eat the best that you can, and take time to strengthen your mental capacity, whether that be regular sleep or meditating and things of that nature. The next dimension is the spiritual. And the spiritual dimension allows you to be in tune with your spiritual self. It also allows you to seek meaning and purpose in life and also appreciate your life experiences. Now, you can further get to that optimal level of spiritual wellness by exploring your inner self, whether that's by looking for religious faiths that agree with you or that touches your heart, uh, practicing acceptance, and other things of that nature. And the last dimension is the social dimension. And the social dimension just reiterates that the relationships that we have and how we interact with others is very important because the relationships that we have can offer us support in difficult times. That's why it's important that we learn how to balance social, personal, and to learn how to balance our social, personal, and professional lives. By finding that balance, we can spend time that's needed in the social in our with our social network that will help allow us to be comfortable in social situations. So again, and so to fulfill this dimension, it is important that we make every effort to stay connected with supportive friends and family. And I really want to emphasize supportive because not all friends and family are supportive to us. And that is my philosophy of wellness. Before I go, I do want to say that we should work to have a balance of all 8 dimensions. Now, realistically, some will be weighted more than others, but as long as you're working towards all 8, you can find yourself in total wellness, no matter who you are. Thank you so much.